How Japan became one of the largest economies after World War II. World War II stands as a haunting chapter in our history, where over 50 nations, Japan among them, were thrust into a tumultuous conflict. Within the shadows of this war, two fateful days, August 6 and 9, Hiroshima and Nagasaki were bombed. This was the first use of nuclear bomb. After the war, Japan was in crisis. However, Japanese did not lose hope, and they tried to make a comeback as a strong nation. And that's what they did, and now they hold one of the strongest economies in the world. Post-World War struggle. After the ravages of World War II, Japan's economic phoenix rose from the ashes with determination and resilience. The immediate aftermath of the war presented a landscape of destruction and hardship, demanding the nation's utmost efforts to rebuild and restore stability. Under the watchful eyes of the Allied occupation forces, significant reforms were instituted with a vision of cultivating a self-sustaining economy taking root under the guidance of American banker Joseph Dodge. The diligent pursuit of reconstruction gradually paved the way for a remarkable turnaround that would define Japan's post-war trajectory. The turning point. The turning point came with the outbreak of the Korean War in 1950. This unforeseen event spurred an immediate demand for Japanese goods, igniting an investment fervor that laid the groundwork for a prolonged period of unparalleled economic activity. As domestic markets expanded, investments in manufacturing facilities and equipment soared, signaling the beginning of Japan's ascent as an industrial powerhouse. Japan started sending its products to other countries, which really helped decide where its economy was going. This plan to sell things abroad resulted in more money coming in from trade every year, showing that Japan was becoming really strong economically. Challenges in the 70s. But as the early 1970s came, Japan's fast growth started to slow down because of some really tough problems. Like the prices of oil going really high worldwide, labor costs, and changes in the value of money, especially the Japanese yen getting stronger against other currencies. These things made Japan's economy more difficult. The strong demand from other countries that had been helping Japan grow was not as strong anymore, and some issues from the super fast growth before were becoming visible. Even though the economy was getting bigger, the way people lived did not improve as quickly. This was partly because a lot of the money earned was used to grow businesses instead of going toward people's everyday lives. Because of these issues, Japan was facing mounting pressure from trading partners, especially from the United States. The positive changes in the 80s. Around the middle of the 1980s, the way people lived in Japan became similar to how people lived in other advanced countries. A really important moment happened in 1985 when Japan made an agreement with the countries it traded with. They agreed to let Japan's money, yen, become worth more compared to the US dollar. This made the yen's value increase a lot in just 2 years. During this new time in the economy, Japanese companies started going outside Japan. They set up places to make things in other countries. This was a way for them to have different options and adjust to how the markets were changing. In the 1980s, the government in Japan made big changes to how things were run. They stopped having control over things like tobacco, salt, phones, and telegraph services, and let private companies take over. The famous Japanese national railways also changed. It became the Japan Railways JR Group. Most of the other government-owned companies became special purpose groups or organizations. But the government still had a hand in important areas like radio and TV broadcasting. They also stayed involved in things they saw as very important, like nuclear power generation. They had a big plan to make more electricity through nuclear power, showing how much influence the government has in Japan's complicated economy. How Japan's government is different in managing economy. The way the government manages Japan's economy is quite unique and different from other countries. Even though the government does not directly control everything in the economy, it has a strong influence on businesses. This influence is seen through talks with businesses and their involvement in banking. These discussions happen in groups that watch over different parts of the economy and set goals for it. The government officials use their own judgment instead of strict rules when talking to businesses, which they call administrative guidance. However, they are trying to use fewer of these informal rules since the early 1990s, as some people thought they made the government and big companies too close. Problems in the 90s. However, during this time of growth, something unusual happened. There was a kind of bubble where the prices of things like stocks and buildings went very high. But this bubble did not last, and at the start of the 1990s, it burst. This led to a big economic problem. The effects were clear to see. A key measure of stock prices, called the Nikkei 225 average, went down by half in just a year, and the prices of houses in cities also dropped a lot. This showed that even though the economy had looked very strong, it was actually quite delicate. The 1990s were a time when Japan's economy did not grow much, and this caused some problems. People started calling it the lost decade because progress seemed slow. Even though Japan tried many different ways to improve the economy, growth remained slow. This period of not-so-strong economic growth showed that even strong economies can face difficult situations. As the 1990s ended, Japan's economy faced a big recession that made things even more uncertain. When the 21st century began, there was a small bit of hope as things started to get better. However, growth was slow and had ups and downs, showing that making the economy strong again was not a straightforward journey. The rebuild in the 21st century. By the year 2000, Japan confronted a new set of demographic and economic realities. Many of the people who were part of the post-war baby boom were getting ready to retire, and at the same time, the population was not growing much. This created a problem where there were fewer young people joining the workforce. It was a tough situation that needed creative ideas to keep the economy strong. The whole world was facing tough challenges too. The big economic crisis that started in 2007 and got worse in 2008 affected Japan too. Just like other countries, Japan had to deal with this economic trouble. It was like sailing through rough seas and dealing with unexpected problems. But even with all these challenges, Japan's economy showed its strength. It still had one of the highest amounts of money for each person, called per capita gross national product, compared to the rest of the world. This showed that Japan's economy was still strong underneath. And not only that, Japan kept making more money from its exports than it spent on imports every year. This showed that Japan was still a really strong economy. Through periods of stagnation and uncertainty, Japan's economy remained a tale of resilience, adaptation, and perpetual evolution. Its journey through economic challenges underscores the intricate interplay between domestic policies, global events, and demographic shifts that shape the destiny of nations in an ever-changing economic landscape. Summing things up, as we conclude this journey through Japan's economic history, we are left with a profound understanding of resilience, adaptation, and evolution. Just as the nation emerged from the ashes of World War II with determination, its economic trajectory echoed the same spirit. From the boom ignited by the Korean War to the challenges faced in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, Japan's path has been a testament to its ability to overcome challenges. The unique interplay of domestic policies, global dynamics, and demographic changes painted a vivid picture of Japan's economic landscape. Through periods of boom and bust, Japan's story exemplified adaptability, proving that even in the face of uncertainty, a nation can chart its course towards evolution and prosperity. Japan's economic odyssey has been shaped by its distinctive government involvement, transforming industries and guiding its trajectory. The unparalleled influence exercised through talks, collaborative groups, and shifting policies underscored the nation's ability to recalibrate and thrive. Through it all, Japan's economy stands as a living example of a nation's capacity for adaptation and growth. It is a testament to the intricate interplay of factors that shape a nation's destiny in an ever-evolving economic landscape. As we bid farewell to this captivating journey, we are reminded that Japan's story is not just one of economics, but a tale of human spirit, innovation, and determination that continues to inspire nations around the world. So, if you are inspired with this video, make sure that you have liked it and shared it with your friends. And do not forget to subscribe our channel.